Hey everybody, I'm Laurie and this is Abbey, and we are with Diagnostic Learning Services. Today we thought we'd share a little bit about kind of why we do what we do and why we're here. So I actually started Diagnostic Learning almost 18 years ago, which is crazy to think it's been that long. And I think, when I think back to when I very first kind of branched out, I was working for the school districts, and I loved what I do. I loved working with kids. I loved helping families unlock why their students were struggling, but I felt kind of restricted in the school districts about what I could say and who I could test and what kind of tests we can give. And I just felt like I was a little bit limited. So I was very lucky to have a family that supported me and helped me kind of get started with a private practice. And it started really small, and I only saw a couple kids, but I loved it, and it's just kind of grown over the years. And I feel like I love coming to work every day. I love helping parents, watching that light bulb go off and seeing that relief and just knowing that, okay, we know what it is, we have a plan of action. It's very rewarding, and it fulfills all of my, investigative kind of needs. So, we spend all day, every day helping parents and students and adults understand really why they struggle and helping them find the resources to get the right kind of help.
Do you remember what was the turning factor when you were teaching originally? What made you want to go into diagnostics and become a diagnostician?
So, I was a special education teacher, so I was almost always working in a small group with kids, and I would watch them struggle, and I knew how to help them, but I wanted to know why. Like, why is this hard for you but not for you? And why does this way that I explain it, why does that make more sense to you? So I just felt like the why was really the one thing I didn't have. So
I was the same way, actually. I was teaching in a private school for students with learning disabilities, developmental disabilities, emotional and behavioral disorders, and kind of got to the point where I was a little burnt out and feeling discouraged and felt like I wasn't seeing the progress that I ought to be seeing. So I went to teach a typical class and went to a regular education program where I thought there was going to be just typical learners. And I quickly found out that even in a classroom where nobody has a diagnosis of any type of learning disability or major life impairment, there are special learners. There are kids that learn differently. There are kids that struggle. And that made me want to try to figure out why. Why do they struggle? Why is this particular child struggling to learn to read? I was teaching first grade. Everyone was pretty much making the same progress steadily and light bulbs going off throughout the year. But there was, a handful of kiddos that either couldn't pay attention and sit still or couldn't learn to read the same way that the others learned. And I wanted to know why. I wanted to dig into their brains and figure out, because I could tell they were smart and capable and have good thinking and reasoning skills. And I just wanted to figure out, why do some kids learn differently and or struggle to learn at all and have learning disabilities?
Don't you think that information would have helped you be a better teacher too?
Oh, absolutely.
And not that it's not available with a lot of the kids that are diagnosed in a classroom setting. It's available in their file somewhere, but you have to be able to understand it, read it, and decipher it, and to have, what we like to do too is even talk to teachers and help them understand what all these things mean. And if you have a student with dyslexia or another type of disability, what are the ways that you can help them be successful? What are some teaching strategies that you can kind of differentiate for that student?
Which I had to learn a lot of great teaching strategies through trial and error and seeing what worked well for students. But also I went and took the initiative to go to a lot of different trainings, and I learned about love and logic and differentiating instruction and multisensory teaching, and really learned a lot of different great strategies and tools to put in my toolbox. But once you really understand how an individual's brain works, how they process information, how they learn best, where their gaps are, where their learning disabilities are, then you can target their instruction even more and really hone in on trying to teach those skills that they're lacking or that they're struggling to make progress on. So I love seeing kids. I love working with clients of all ages, helping them figure out why they're struggling and what to do about it. And the same thing with the hope in the parents' eyes. It feels really rewarding to help a parent finally come to that realization that their child is not dumb, they're not lazy, they're completely capable. They just have this, and this is what that means, this particular disability, and now here's a plan of action of what we can do about it.
I think too, for Abby and I both, I'm going to speak for you, but we both struggled with ADHD, obviously since early elementary school.
Right.
And so
school was difficult.
It was hard, and if someone could have helped my parents better understand me or helped me better understand me at any point along the way, I can't imagine what a difference that would have made. So I feel like we're helping them avoid some of the things that we went through, and that is really rewarding.
Right.
Like, look, I'm going to help you not have to go through some of the struggles that I went through.
Exactly.
Because we're catching it.
And also, I think before we became diagnosticians, we were both teachers, so we know what the classroom looks like, and we know how it is to have a room of 22 plus students, and how to accommodate students with different learning challenges and what those accommodations might look like in different subjects or for different students.
And what's reasonable.
And what's reasonable.
And what's not.
What you're capable of doing in a classroom. So that helps us, really looking through that educational lens. When making recommendations, we are, I think, better equipped at making those recommendations, knowing what teachers understand and what they're capable of doing in a classroom setting.
So yeah, at the end of the day, we both love coming to work every day.
Yes.
We love helping the clients, the families and the adult clients kind of get to the root of the issue
and get them the support they need to be successful and to soar, which many do.
Yep.